African violets intimidate a lot of people, and I want to go through and talk about 5 simple hacks for stunning blooms with African violets. Now, by no means am I an expert, but my wife and I have these continually in our house. We don't have a lot of them because we now live in the Southwest United States. It's a little bit harder here because of humidity issues, but we can do all the other things to make sure that we do have some. And she has one that she loves here. It's got some white leaves sometimes of the year, then they change color and the blooms are not in yet, but they do come in. So I want to go through and talk about 5 simple hacks, because sometimes with plants, it just comes down to getting as many things right as you can to have great plants. And number 1 is you got to master this one. This is the big thing that most people fail on, but mastering the art of watering. You always want to water if you can from below. And of course, that's why she's got this plate here. She puts the water there and it soaks up what it needs through the drainage holes. So that's so key. Also, you never want to use cold or hot water. You want to use just lukewarm water. And you want to monitor the soil moisture. Now, she likes to use moisture meters, but you can tell by the top should never be, it should be about 1 inch down where it's dry. You don't want to have a lot of excess moisture. They hate overwatering. These plants, African violets, do very poor when you overwater. Eliminating your African violets. Now, perfect place, you got to find the perfect window where they can receive bright light. It's got to be 12 to 16 hours a day to get optimal growth. Now, you want to keep these from direct light. They do not like direct light, and they will start to show some scorching on their leaves with direct light. And my wife is a master at this. She's got these everywhere. They are grow lights, and 30 centimeters usually from the plant, and 12 to 14 hours a day to stimulate natural daylight lighting conditions, because this sometimes during the winter months, you don't get the full 12 hours, you get barely. And these plants are going to need a little bit more than that, sometimes up to 16. So you're going to have some artificial light. Create the perfect environment. That means temperature-wise. They don't like big fluctuations in temperature. They don't like any changes like that. They like to stay between 68 to 85 during the day, maybe a little cooler at night, not much. The other thing for their environment, the perfect environment for African violets, is moisture when it comes to humidity in the air. And some of these plants really do the best at 80%, which out here in the Southwest, we can't do that. But you want to think about your humidity levels is very key if you want to have good African violets. And you got to fertilize them regularly. And you want to use something that's going to really be the best one, especially during the growing season. But you want to find one that's going to help you get bigger, brighter blooms, more frequent blooms. And fertilization, usually with using fertilization every 2 to 4 weeks during the growing season. And one specially formulated for African violets is going to help you do that. Propagation techniques, you take the leaf and you cut it very clean, 1.5 inches. You put it in a mixture of 50-50 vermiculite and coarse sand as a rooting material. You can create a greenhouse effect by using a bag to place over it at a bright location to help with that moisture. It's going to take about 3 or 4 weeks to propagate some of these. Be patient, because it could take, eventually, might take a while to see the results from this, and people get a little bit antsy with that. And you may have to really propagate. You might have to do some studying on that. Pruning and maintenance, though, is important. You want to take out the spent plumes by just pinching off the dead ones, right? You want to do some gentle soil handling. They don't like to be packed in real tight, so be careful with that. Gently press the soil around, especially when you repot. And regular grooming, any damaged leaves need to come off. So that's pretty basic right there. But I have some great references in the blogs in the blog that I have. There has a lot of great references to all this. And there's some other blogs and some other aspects of African violets you can read about too. But there's so many other good blogs in there about indirect light watering for all your plants. So go to my website, RxHealthyHabits.com, and go to the blog section on plants. It's going to have some great information. So African violets, they're a beautiful plant. And so many people want to have them, and so many people seem to be frustrated with them. You don't have to be, just a little bit of knowledge, and you're going to be a master, and African violets are going to really bring a lot of joy to your life. So until next video, God bless.